Welcome, welcome. Very excited to gather with all of you today. Hi, Brianna. Welcome to How to Use Astrology to Find and Share Your Purpose. Who is pumped to be here? I think we have like hundreds of signups, so hopefully we can get everyone in, squeeze on in, make room for a neighbor. I'm Maddie Murphy, your guide, your high vibe hype woman, your cosmic consultant. I would love to know who's here, where are we tuning in from? What's your big three? What is going on? Okay. Alejandra. Okay, good. Everyone can hear me. That's always good. Tech check. Hi from Miami. Love it. Ontario, Canada. Love that. That's where some of my ancestors reign in from there. Aries sun, Cap moon, Cap rising. Ooh, someone's here on a mission. Love that. So as we just allow people to trickle in, I'm going to say, welcome, welcome again. I'm so hyper. I have on my obviously hot pink feather blazer because this is our appropriate cosmic boss attire. And obviously you're going to want to have your chart pulled up. We're going to be going over a few key points. You know, this is a free workshop, but I'm not going to breadcrumb you. I'm going to give you a whole buffet to walk away from today, something to really sink your teeth into, some real practical tools for understanding a little bit more about who you are, what you're here to do, and how you're meant to do it, how you can bring it out. Yes. Yes. Oh, Harrisburg, PA, Indiana. Oh, I see a Pisces rising in here. Oh, someone's tuning in. Bettina from Paris. So cool. Nicole, NYC. We're neighbors. Come hang out. You will hear honking and sirens. So let's jump in. For time's sake, I'm just so hyper. I get so hyper. I need to take a deep breath to ground down. Let's all take a deep breath together. So this like activating energy right now. Okay, so why I get so excited to talk about this is I think ever since I was born, ever since I was a little girl, I just kind of knew we all were here for a special purpose. Like not just myself, I knew that. I was like something, but I felt like in every person I could see something like a special light or a special magic. And as I got older, it's one of my favorite things just to, help people, hold space for them, workshop ideas, encourage, hype people up of like, no, you have to do that thing. You have to live in your purpose. You have to share your gift with the world. But even though I was doing that for other people, I really struggled to figure out like how to really embody my purpose in the world. And when we're talking about soul purpose today, I want to give a disclaimer. Yes, we are going to be talking about your career, your calling, your work, how to make some money, honey, because you deserve to get paid for your gifts. But your soul's purpose is so much bigger than your work. You're not here to just work at all. Your soul's purpose is also like how you're meant to live your life, how you're meant to feel, what you're meant to embody, and how you're meant to experience this wild ride of being a human. But it's super confusing. And if you're anything like me, maybe you have a lot of ideas, a lot of dreams, a lot of things that you know are special about yourself, but maybe you don't really see that a solution or a template or a path from like the traditional world. I think I really frustrated every guidance counselor or career counselor I ever went to. They'd be like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, everything and nothing all at once. Like I want to be I want to help the world, but I want to be creative and I think I'm a mermaid. And I really am interested in like cosmic energy. And I feel like they'd be like, marketing? I'm like, no, like yes and no. So partly why, I'm so passionate about this. Like I said, this is like my path I went on to feeling like almost I couldn't even sleep at times. It was almost like an anxiety, something that lived in my nervous system. This like feeling of like kind of a pushing, like you were here to do something, you're here to do something, but I just could never kind of figure out what. Or then when I started to maybe have a little bit of an idea between the imposter syndrome, the self-critic, inner critic, love that girl, but she can be really annoying. just all of the whys, the hows, the overwhelm, the lack of focus. There were so many like blocks, even when I started to kind of conceptualize maybe what I wanted to do. And even now, like I actually carved out my own path, cosmic consultant. It's not, in a career path book yet, but I hope in the coming decade it will be. So astrology. Astrology was the thing that helped me really define more of who I am and what my superpowers are. And astrology really gave me this permission slip. These things that I always felt in myself. There was something really cool about just seeing in a black and white chart, seeing a reader who really didn't know me mirror back the things that I always felt, but they were so quiet. They were so subtle. And then astrology kind of also gave me the map of how to bring it out, understanding my unique phases, cycles, the timing of things going on in the collective. And that's another reason why we're here today, is because we got some big ass things going on in the collective. Who here is feeling it? Like we obviously know, unless you've been under a rock. If you have, good for you. But we're going through like the biggest paradigm shift in our history, in our living history. And we're going through a complete revolution. We're going through a huge marker in our collective evolution. And just a lot of the old ways, the old rules, the old paradigms and patterns, like they don't work anymore. Even if you're trying to make them work, they're just like genes that just don't fit. We got to get rid of them. We got to just move on and find genes that make our butt look good. And that's what we're here to do today. We're here to build new rules. Well, not really rules, but new guidelines, new paradigms. And the first thing about this is like, it's going to be about listening to yourself, being true to yourself and knowing what your gifts are. And again, like the unique way in which they want to express themselves, but also knowing who you are in terms of what do you need to take care of your energy, to fill your cup, to live with more flow and less force. And I know for myself, why my life was very uncomfortable for many, many, many of my adult years is that I was trying to like follow someone else's path, or I would kind of take 2 steps out and fumble, and I would doubt myself and I would come right back in. But the 3 biggest moments in understanding my purpose all came through astrology. When I found out I had a Pisces moon, I was like, this makes so much sense. Because I was like, I'm a Virgo, but I feel a little different. I don't feel like your normal Virgo I'd read about in the astrology books. And when I discovered years later, I understood my Virgo Pisces wanted to be of service. So my Virgo went very much into the physical realm, a juice company, making tonics, making tinctures, making teas. I had a plant-based coffee shop. It was great, but there was just this nudging feeling like there's something else I'm meant to do. And then I really wanted to go deeper into astrology. I wanted to go to shaman school. But I felt like, why? This makes no sense. I'm a New Yorker. There's a part of me that was like, this is a bridge too far. Like it's one thing to do Reiki and have your moon circles and your crystals at home, but like, what, going like full time with this? Like what? How are you going to describe like your product and how are you going to sell it? And you're going to like, no, this is, I liked my concrete world I was in and that it felt very tangible, but again, it was not fulfilling. And then my dear friend, Colin Bedell of Queer Cosmos, I was telling him about all of this. And it's just funny, people can see things about your chart you can't always see. And he's like, you have your Pisces moon on your Pisces midheaven. He's like, B, you are here to do all that. You are here to be a channel for the cosmic energy. Like, stop. What are you doing? You have no other choice. And I was like, let's go. Right. And then another step was when we were doing this work and I had linked up with Audrey, but I was wondering, like, should I do in-person things? Should I be focusing on in-person healings or events? And another amazing astrologer, Kira of the Astrology, was like, honey, you have your North Node in Gemini in the 12th house. Like you're meant to be in the realm of connecting with people and media, but kind of like the ether. And you're supposed to like, have podcasts and have an online community. And you're actually meant to like connect with people from all over the world about spirituality. And you can have the events and you could have a brick and mortar, but that's not like your lead plan. And those 3 moments was like, each of them offered me a moment of like, I can sigh a breath of relief. I can trust the path ahead. And that's what I want to do for you today. And there's no better time ever in our history to understand your unique path, your unique blueprint. So what we're going to do today is kind of go into a little bit of what I experienced. It took me like 35 years. I'm going to do it for you hopefully today in an hour. I'll be down with that, like to save a little time, because that was a cool journey, but we have things to do. We have the world to heal and change and rebuild. So I'm going to consolidate all of that for you. Now, astrology. Let me know in the chat, like, what's our comfort level from like 1 to 10 with a birth chart? Are we like 1, we have seen a horoscope in Teen Vogue and we're like, cool. 10 is like, I check this chart every day. I have my aspects on lock. I know about like exaltations and falls and like detriments. And no matter where you're at, my intention with bringing astrology to the world is to make it super accessible and digestible. It's just too powerful of a tool. I know for me, I was very intimidated by it for years. I flirted with it. I dabbled with it, but to call myself an astrologer or to go deeper felt like a big leap. But that Pisces moon and midheaven conversation made me realize, honey, like you got to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to really break down. There's millions of information that we could get from someone's chart, but we're going to like break down 3 key parts today, and we're going to make it into a really little, what I hope is easy to apply, easy to understand prescription for you to apply in your own life to understand your purpose. So who you are, what you're here to do, how you're meant to do it. And let me know, like in the chat, 1, 2, 3, are you in the place where you're really looking to understand maybe what your purpose is? You're like, maybe I have a job, or I'm successful, or I spent a long time maybe taking care of my family or doing something. And I'm just looking like, I know I'm meant for something bigger, but just where I was in the first part of my path, like, I just don't exactly know where it is or what it is. And then 2, you're like, I'm starting to have an idea of my purpose is, but I need help in actually the next steps. How am I bringing this out into the world? What am I actually doing with this? How am I taking it from like head space, heart space into the 3D world? Or 3, are you already living in your purpose? Maybe you have, you feel aligned with your purpose. Maybe you have a soul-based offering already out in the world, or a business, or you're a creator, or you're a leader. But maybe you're like, oh, I'm getting a little taste of burnout, or there's something here that's not clicking, not firing me up. And I would love to just take it to the next level, to really expand and grow with simplicity, grace, and ease. Okay, we have all over. Okay, good. We have 1, Jacqueline. It's okay. Oh my goodness. I know that feeling, Jacqueline. It is a lot to feel lost. Honestly, my 20s, up until my Saturn return, I mean, even in my Saturn return, I truly, like, it felt like there was a cloud over me and like a heavy wet blanket I was carrying with me that whole time, because I just felt so like aimless, but also understanding that there was something trying to get out of me. But so it's a heavy feeling. I want to honor that and hold space. But again, this is why I love astrology. Hopefully we can give you a little insight today. Like a veil waiting to be lifted. Yes. Okay. So yes. 1.5. I love a decimal point. So part of what we're doing with this webinar and workshop today is we're going to be identifying these 3 parts in your chart that I actually spoke about from my story. So if you want to pull up your chart for free on astro.com, we love, is a great tool. Obviously, there's a ton of other. I use time passages software for myself and on my phone for my clients. Really sun, north node, midheaven, any astrology website is going to give it to you. There are better sites than others for more technical readings, but in terms of these 3 placements, you can go to Astro Chart, you can go to Luna Astrology. But I want you to be able to pull up your sun, your north node, and your midheaven for me. Now, let's talk about it a little bit. These points. Why are these, of all of the points we could talk about, all the placements in your chart, why these? So the sun, we got to start with the sun. The sun is so much around, rules your identity, your consciousness. It's really I think about like how you're meant to share your light in this lifetime, how you're meant to share your brilliance with the world. Like, look at the sun, what it does, right? Like, people, all living beings, all creatures are drawn to the sun. Have you ever had a plant that snakes its way to like to grow facing the sun? And the sun just blesses and nourishes everything it touches with no struggle, with no stress needed from it. So when you get to understand your sun sign, I think when I got really deep into astrology, I actually forgot about the importance of the sun. Because I was like, oh, sun sign, that's so 101. But it's 101 for a reason. It's a fundamental. And this is really like who you are at the core, and it's who you're meant to be and embody in this lifetime. And every year on your solar return, you're learning how to become more and more of this sun. Okay, so really important. It's like the CEO, the captain of this ship. Then we go into the North Node. Now, this is a little bit more of an esoteric placement, and that's why your girl loves it. I feel like I've built my whole entire astrology practice and all my methodologies off of working with the North Node, because again, flashback to me growing up in my teens and my 20s, I was just looking around at the world and I was like, this ain't it. Like, this is not the vibe for me. Like a lot of what we're talking about, a lot of what we're focusing on in school and society, in the workplace, I was like, there's got to be something more. And the North Node is really an esoteric placement. It really comes from the thought of like your soul has a bigger purpose. This is your soul's true North Star. It derives from Vedic astrology, and we're talking about the North Node, South Node, as understanding like your North Node is where you're stretching into in this lifetime, what your soul came to do, how your soul came to really be and express, and how you find your most freedom and fulfillment. And then your South Node, which we're not going to get into today, but it's the opposite of that. That's really like what you came, maybe the karmic baggage or tools you came into this lifetime with. And that's more of your comfort zone. It's easy to get stuck in the South Node, but you're really meant to stretch and expand into the wilderness, into the frontier of the North Node. And that's really your cosmic zone. And it's scary to trust it, but when you do, it opens up so much ease and alignment and flow for you. All right, because your soul's happy. Your soul's like, giddy up. This is what we came here to do. And then the last placement we're going to look at today is your midheaven, or you might see it in the chart represented by the MC, medium coli. I'm always not great with my Latin pronunciations, but that's my take on it. And this is, the halfway point to the heavens, to the sky. Essentially, I want you to think about your chart as this wheel. And there's so much information in it, and there's so much like for you to understand about your journey, and it's just this amazing like blueprint. And then your midheaven is this like peak of your chart. It's almost like the point from your chart to the cosmos, to the divine, to whatever we believe in, whatever we name, that force that's bigger than us, that higher power. And midheaven is like, this is how we're going to channel whatever cosmic divine wisdom we came here to share. This is our how. It's like our platform, our channel of how we're really bringing all that information down. And because it's in that highest part of our chart, I want you to think about it. It's like your kind of professional stage, like how you're going to be seen in the highest light when it comes to your work. It's how you shift a career into a calling. And it's also how you're going to share your medicine and magic with the most people, while also having, again, the most grace, ease, simplicity, and support. So it really kind of adds like the flavor of like, what's the industry? What's the channel? What's the method? How I'm really bringing this to earth. So yes, North Node is same as True Node in most softwares, close enough. And so we're going to look at these, we're going to look at the signs. And then before we get into that, and before I give you some tools of understanding in your chart, how to really bring this into action, how to really like understand what are those three placements, what's the story they're telling for me, for you, for Lizzie, for Augustine, for Sarah, for Emma. What you're getting a taste of today is a little bit of a sneak peek of what we do in our Cosmic Boss Conscious Leadership Program. I'm very excited to announce this because we just finished our last cohort, and truly When I tell you, I blown away, proud mama vibes, crying on the regular of just how proud I am to be able to have this container and how proud I am of everyone who says yes to it. In this program, we take what we're talking about today, we expand it out, but we go through 4 phases of understanding your highest potential as a conscious leader. And we call it a conscious leadership program because I've been looking at the leaders, air quotes, around us. And I'm like, again, just like when I was younger, this ain't it. This is not it. This is not doing it for me. And I believe that each one of you are here to lead a new path, to lead a new potentiality, to lead us into a new possibility. But part of leading is being brave, is choosing your own path, is not just doing what everyone is doing around you. So we call this a Conscious Boss, Conscious Leadership Program. And we're doing kind of 2 things at once. We're learning about your astrology, and we go into a really in-depth, we go through every section, every house of your chart to understand these 12 archetypes that live within you. So you can really unlock your cosmic DNA, your cosmic codes that help you with everything from self-care to sharing your message, to attracting your ideal client and community, to understanding how to tap into the most abundance and money in this lifetime. It's all there. It's all in your chart. And we go through it in a really in-depth way. And along that path, I'm also just teaching you things I've learned from coaching, from having my own businesses, everything from shamanic rituals to energetic practices. Because again, like we're here to really support you in the holistic sense, like the 360 sense, not just like what you're doing and getting your workout in the world. But I'm like, no. I want you, again, leading from a place of overflow, not burnout. I want you leading from a place of real self-trust instead of self-doubt. And I want you to lead from a place of like play and pleasure, not like pressure and stress. We've had enough of that. We've had enough of that for many lifetimes. We're clearing that. And then you also learn tools, planetary planning, like how to live in alignment with your own transits, your personal chart, how to map out your year. And my favorite part, my Virgo loves, we have everyone bring a sacred offering to the table. And we really spend our time, not just in the, training, learning the astrology, learning about the energetics. We really get, roll up our elbows and I walk you through our roadmap to launch your offering out. And we do that in our 6-month container. And we have everything you need from helping you craft your offering, price it, attract, like align with your soulmate clients and community. But also we offer accountability and hype and just being like, hey, you said you were going to do that. So you got to bring it to the next call. And it's a really fun way of bringing your sacred offering out. If you're that person who, again, has a million ideas, but doesn't know where to start, this is a really great container to help you really take those steps to be seen, to trust yourself and bring your sacred offering out. And of course, practical magical toolkit. You leave with just a ton of resources and tools and tips and tricks to carry you with you, forever. Like once you learn these things about your chart and yourself, it's like you have this amazing map to lean on. And so how it works, in case you're curious, is it's really fun. And this is a big deal. This is our last live cohort that I'm going to offer just because we're growing so much at Cosmic RX and we want to create just more and more offerings to really be of service to you and our community. So if you're interested in this program, we'll offer it again and it'll be like definitely more affordable. It'll be on a replay. But if you want to get in that container live with me, with other baddies, other bosses, this it sounds very salesy, but this is the last chance. We wanted to be honest and upfront about that. So how it works, we have twice a month training calls. And those are like 75 minutes where I go into these astro archetype. We break down your chart in a really accessible way. We talk about it. It's like, there's Q&As happening. There's inside jokes being dropped. And then we have twice a month live coaching calls. And I lead those. And as a lot of you know, I don't take a lot of personal readings anymore. My coaching, personal coaching is very limited. So this is a great way to access. If you have questions about your chart, your offering, your life, we go into it all here. We have had coaching calls where we're all just crying and holding space for each other because we're all in our fields, but it's the power of community, and it's really impactful. And then we offer co-working calls. Audrey, who's my business partner, does a once a month launch lab call, where she really helps you workshop your landing page, your offering. Does it make sense, right? Like all those questions. How do I use Kajabi and Canva and all of these freaking apps? And then we have high vibe happy hours, guest classes, initiation ceremonies, and then a private sub community where we have like a fire, basically group chat, private place for us to hang out in that cohort. So if you're interested in this, obviously we'll be talking a bit more at the end, or you can email us info@cosmicrx.com. If you're on the fence, like talk to us, let us know. I'm really passionate about this. Also, it's like you all become my best friends forever and ever. And that's an extra perk, but that's beyond value. And this is really for you. If you're any of these things, if you consider yourself a creative visionary, artist, entrepreneur, coach, healer, leader, basically anyone who's a rule breaker, anyone who just feels like a misfit, anyone who feels like they have something big to share with the world, but they're just like, need help with the what, the how, or you just need the who. You need your people hyping you up, and like you can do it alone, but why? Do it in a group, in community, in relation is so much better. And we've had people who have come who have no offering and they're starting from scratch. Maybe they have a full-time corporate job, but they're looking to do something that's more passionate and something to like bring out into the world, that's like more reflective of their spiritual side, of their creative side, of their service side. We have people who have already been working on a solo offering, a podcast, a book, but again, they just want to learn more about themselves and they want to do it in a space where they can workshop ideas. Because when you work by yourself, we can get so hung up on like font choice and then not bring our big idea out in the world. And we can't have that. Again, I can't have any of this. And three, another type of person that we have that comes is, again, someone who has their business, has maybe a coaching program, or they're an artist, and they've already experienced some success, they've had some momentum, but they've just hit maybe a roadblock where they're like, I want to offer a different type of offering. I want to scale. I want to do this again with more flow, or I want to like fine tune my next offering. And so, yeah, if that strikes a chord with any of you, you know what I'm going to keep saying, but we're just in this unprecedented time. And I know there's a lot of financially weird stuff happening, but I also want to ensure you that like, this is the time that is transformational for visionaries. If you have an idea and you're like, who is ever going to want this? I trust you. If you are feeling it, it's because it wants to be birthed through you. If you are feeling it, if you desire it, someone else does too. And they're looking for someone just like you to bring it out into the world. So Cosmic Boss, together we go farther. But now back to you, the main character of this workshop. So sun sign, everyone has their sun sign pulled up. This is just like, what's your sign, baby? So we have our sun. Now, like, let me know in the chat if you resonate with your sun sign. I find sometimes, again, I was born on a full moon, so my moon sign is directly opposite my sun. So sometimes I'd be like, yes, Virgo, I like to organize. But then I would hear or read things about Virgos. And like I said, I'd be like, no. And the more I've understood my sun sign, I realized like I had to think about it in a different way, because understanding my sun sign has helped me kind of increase my capacity for sharing my light, for shining my light, and for feeling light while I do it. Your sun sign very much connects you to your vitality. So if you're ignoring your sun sign, you will feel like the light is dimmed, like it is a low setting on the what is that called? The vibrancy setting. It's like everything can feel really dim. We're not honoring our sun. So get your sun, and your sun sign is also very much about like expressing yourself. And your sun sign, like I said before, is sharing that warmth, sharing your own sunshine with others. And so I'm going to give you a little, who here likes Mad Libs? Like filling in the blanks on things. Mad Libs were truly my favorite game as a child. And maybe it's because my name is Maddie, but now I feel just emotionally attached to them. So everything we do in Cosmic Boss, there's a Mad Lib, there's several, every training that we go into, because as even a lifelong appreciator, student of astrology, sometimes it's hard for me to understand, like, what does this mean in practical terms? I'm always like, break it down for me. So we're going to fill in this Mad Lib. So I express myself best when I help people feel, are we ready for it? Beautiful. Oh, I love this. Love, fulfilled, seen. We have some people popping it in themselves in the chat. I'm obsessed with that. So find your sun sign on here. And I want you to think about, pick one of these words, pick 2 or 3, or add your own, even just offering yourself this moment of quiet to connect, to reflect is a huge practice. Because again, we're just moving so fast in the world. We have a lot of distractions. And like I was saying, it's just so easy to forget your own magic because it's yours. It's right here. What comes easily to you, what you're good at, it comes easily to you. So it's so easy to be like, oh, that can't be my superpower. That's just something I just do naturally. But it really is. And whether that's you help other people feel confident, that's a huge superpower. If you help other people feel empowered or disciplined or self-sufficient, or you help other people feel calm and peaceful, like, you just do that naturally. This is the light you radiate when you enter a room, when you enter a space, especially when you're really honoring your light and taking care of your light. And the sun sign really helps you understand your self-care, but more on that later in the Cosmic Boss program. Okay. Oh, wow. Lizzie is a safe space. I love that. So yeah, you're taking your sun sign, and what's your sun? Popping in some words. Oh, Jennifer H, in love with themselves. I love that. Sag is too good, hype team. And this is really fun because sometimes we need a mirror. We need a mirror in other people to remember what we're good at. Or obviously, in my case, I love using astrology for that, because this is what you came to this earth with as your sun. This was your, like, you're meant to be and embody. But just like I talked about the sun before, blessing and nourishing all of creation just by rising, just by being out there. This is what you bring to people, whether you realize it or not. And this is what people around you need from you, or what they look to you for. And guess what? It don't cost you a thing. It does not cost you a thing. It's just like, I just get to show up, and this is what I activate in someone else. Okay. And we all need all of these things. I think about my favorite, my sister is an Aries, and she taught me and helped me feel all of these Aries qualities my whole entire life. And I'm so grateful for her, because I don't have any Aries in my chart. And that's something we talk about a lot in Cosmic Boss, is how to understand and activate the archetypes that aren't necessarily like strong in your chart, but they're there. That's my favorite part about astrology, is you have all of this in your chart. You got all of this going on, all 12 signs. It's just some of them are like, bing, right front and center. And some of them are a little like sleepy and waiting for the invite, waiting for the invitation, the activation. Okay, as a Sag, my inner health coach is screaming. Amazing. Okay, so how we're feeling with this. So yeah, so let me know in the chat, like, just you're continuing to do. Christina, I express myself best when I help people feel hyped, confident, and energetic. I love the energy because I match it right back. And that's the sun, right? Like, you're giving that back. And that's, for me, my Virgo energy. I love having people feeling taken care of. I love helping people feel put together. I love having people feel like methodical. It's why I love teaching astrology, because it's like, hey, life's a lot. I'm going to help you get organized, but like with the cosmos. So this is our first Mad Lib, right? So write this down somewhere, put it in a journal, put it somewhere where you can reference it again. And I know this is a free workshop, but we had people who came last year who straight up changed their whole entire life from this workshop, because they were like, that was just the permission I needed. I needed to hear that. So I went full throttle. I pulled the trigger. I shot my shot. So write this down and really sit with this. And of course, add your own words if other things are coming up for you. Okay. So Gabby, is that Gabby, my sister, in here? Okay. I can't tell because the chat. Okay. What are you here to do? Oh, Gabby from Strand. Oh, I love it. Okay. I love meeting my baddies out in the wild. I was like, is that my sister in this? So what are you here to do? Okay. So if your sun is how you're here to express yourself, how you make other people feel. It's just your light, baby. You walk in that room, bam, that's your light. Now your north node is like another sun sign, and it's what you were born to do, but it's more about your core motivations, your philosophies. It's your soul, what your soul wants to do. And if you have the sun and north node in the same sign, great. It's a double whammy for you. It's like double on that energy. But your north node is like who you're meant to become. What are the values? What's the vision that drives you? What are the attitudes, behaviors that you're meant to embrace? And it's like really like what's the path? Like what's your soul here to learn? What's the curriculum for your soul? And like I was saying before, I knew I loved spirituality. That was like check. Okay, I got to like Virgo sun. I'm here to help people. I was like, how? Pisces moon. I'm my midheaven. Okay, cool. But North Node was a journey for me of realizing I'm a North Node in Gemini. So I'm really here to be a teacher, and I'm here to connect with other people, and I'm here to learn, and I'm here to be in that sort of like media realm of Gemini. But I'm also here to make things digestible and accessible, right? Gemini is like, give me the sound bites, give me what I need to know, like tweet it, post it, and so for me, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's actually what I really do want to do. But my South Node in Sag sometimes kept me like pulling in the opposite direction. But when I really leaned in here, once I really trusted this path, it wasn't easy. And I always tell people, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sometimes trusting your North Node is not easy, but it ultimately will bring you ease. It will bring you the feeling of flow, of roads opening, of just tremendous expansion. Okay. And it's not about, again, an end goal. It's just about being on this path of embodying your highest potential. And so I want you to think about this as this North Node is your North Star to your greatest soul's potential. So my greatest potential lies in being a blank. This is going to be the embodiment of your soul. And yeah, if your North Node is in retrograde, don't worry. The North Node is retrograde for a big part of the year. And weirdly enough, the nodes move backwards. If anybody noticed, like, we go from North Node in Gemini to North Node in Taurus, to North Node in Aries. So that does not matter at all for your purpose. So North Node, your greatest potential, it lies in being a blank. So let's fill it in. Where's your North Node? We have some people here. North Node, we have Sag, we have Gemini. Yes, Deepa, webinar is going to change your life. Claiming that for you, amplifying that. Mine is in Libra and my communication skills are bad. It's okay. You're just here to what are you here to do? You're here to be a partner, a collaborator, a diplomat, a creator, an artist, a muse, baby, a trendsetter. All right. We can work on the communication skills. This is your greatest potential lies in being this. Erin, entrepreneur. I've been trying. Oh, I love that startup business for years. Oh, great. Storyteller. Holy cow. Everything Pisces. While you fill this in, oh, you're so cute, Jade and Maddie. OMG. I love it. So does anybody feel right now like, whoa, someone just saw into my soul? Maybe I've never even said this out loud, or I never was able to put this into words. This is like truly that part of you, this thing I had in me from a young age that like kept me up at night, this pull, this like magnetic pull that was bigger than me, but it wasn't like, it was very hard to articulate. And your North Node, truly, you do understand this a little bit the older you get. We live a lot of our childhood or adolescence, really up until right before our Saturn return, we really live in our South Node and we're cultivating those opposite gifts. But then your soul has not forgotten. Your soul's like, okay, we're going to sit here, but we have something else to do. And then the switch flips and you're like, oh, and you begin this path of remembering. And that's one thing, no matter what happens, whether you come join us in Cosmic Boss, whether you want to go deeper in your chart, whether you want to help, create your sacred offering for the world, whether you just walk away from today with this workshop, with these Mad Libs, I want you to think about the energetics, the embodiment of remembering your soul's potential. You're not learning it. It's not something outside of you. It's not something that you need to be validated in, that you have to go to school for, that you need a certificate, that you need a stamp of approval. This is like your soul had a contract before you dropped into that gorgeous human body of yours. And it's like, this is what I came here to do. And the more you trust this and the more you take steps in the direction of embodying this, you will feel so different because you're going to be at oneness, in unity, in wholeness with your soul, instead of fighting your soul, which is what I was doing for a big part of my life, denying it. And and the universe, if you're denying your soul, the universe is going to make your life a little messy because it's going to want to get your attention. It's going to be like, hello, hello, hello. Okay, knock it down like a cat trying to get your attention. Just like, house of cards down. Nope. And it's like, why does everything feel hard? Or why do I feel sick all the time? Or why does nothing, even all the accomplishments, the things I'm checking off my list, why do I still feel, right? That it's just, I feel empty. I feel lost. I feel like more confused than ever. You got to listen to your soul, honey. So your greatest potential lies in being a blank. No pressure for AJ. That's also one thing we do crack a lot of jokes on in Cosmic Boss. I am here for your greatness. And so a lot of the things that go up in Cosmic Boss, I'm like, no pressure, but your ancestors just told me you're here to clear generational curses while being a sage and guiding your community. But it's like, what? That's also why we do it in community. It's why I give you lots of tools. But yeah, like if you're here, if you signed up to come to this workshop, you're here for something big. You're here for something beyond paying bills, going to work, watching HBO Max and going to sleep. It's like, listen, I love Succession, but that's not what you're here for. Like you're here for something so much bigger. So I want you to think about this embodiment, this potential. And I saw some questions going on in the chat. I'm not going to go too deep into the astrology because that's like a whole other thing. But if you have your North Node and it's opposite your midheaven, someone asked, well, that's great because it means that you are here to be seen in a certain midheaven way that we're about to talk about. But the great news is in that is the reminder that you are here. Your soul's purpose is here for something beyond work. It's here to create a home for yourself in this world, to create belonging, security, stability, self-nurturing. So just because that is a question I get asked a lot, like how come my midheaven is what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's opposite my North Node? So astrology is poetry. It needs a lot of interpretation. It's why I like doing it in a group because there's like every week, there's a lot to, threads to pull on and things to weave together. But your midheaven, in terms of just a placement, it's like your midheaven tells you how you stand out in your line of work, right? It's the way you're going to do your job that's special and different from other people. It's your calling. It's how you take that career calling, bring it together. It's how you also gain success and recognition. And this is important because I know a lot of people I work with tend to be a little bit more, well, it's like introvert, extrovert mix, or just that they're not the big ego people who are like, look at me, look at me. That's why a lot of work I do is around being seen and really hyping up the soul-centered leaders and change makers, because it's very hard to change the world without being seen a little bit. And this kind of plays into another aspect of that, which is recognition. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't care if I'm being recognized, or it can feel like, oh, that feels like egoic, right? But it's not. Your soul deeply wants to be recognized, and it wants to make an impact. It wants to help people. And it just, again, wants that mirrored, not for the wrong reasons. But I just want to give everyone permission to feel into that recognition and being witnessed for our gifts and for our heart and for our offering is very much a part of what we need as humans. So I'm loving this security in this chat. And yes, that's so good. Manu, one thing I say a lot in Cosmic Boss, especially in the first two classes, is 3 things. Fuck a niche. You are not a niche. You are not one thing. You are not one label. You are a multidimensional creator. You are all of the universe experiencing itself. So I know I have had many lifetimes in this lifetime. I have many slashes behind my names. And this is like, it's not one size fits all, and it doesn't limit you to one thing. Like when you just pointed out, it's like this is like an area, an industry, a category, but there's many options within that. All right. So with our midheaven, thinking now about this sign. So where is your midheaven? Where is your MC? Oh, Deepa, thank you. So I stand out at my job, in my work, however you want to say this, by blank with these midheaven activities. Now, this is where we get everything I do is a spell. Everything I do is a spell. So again, even if you showed up here and you're like, I don't know anything about astrology, I want you to have something where you're writing down in your own handwriting, hand from heart, that you have, this is what sets me apart from other people in my line of work. This is how I easily gain recognition, achieve success, go viral, create a positive impact. And this is my favorite part, leave behind a legacy I can be proud of. And this is for everyone. Everyone here, this is your birthright to do all of these things. And you're meant to, and you're here to. And especially if you have that vision, if you have something you see, it is real. It is real. It is there. There is a timeline that already exists of you embodying that. We're just kind of figuring out the steps. What's the next thread we're pulling on? All right. So everyone have this Mad Lib written down or taking a screenshot, or Audrey popped it in the chat. So I stand out at my job by midheaven activities. So let's go into your midheaven. Where's your midheaven? So I saw someone said, Christy said midheaven in Cancer. So I stand out at my job by protecting, taking care of people, healing, playing or creating music, tapping into my intuition, advocating for others. And we go much deeper into all of this in Cosmic Boss, but there's so many threads, vibrations, and chords in these midheavens. And once you know, you're like, oh, right, that's my wavelength. I'm meant to bring it down. So for me, I was a Virgo sun. So I was like, Virgo sun, health. I went to, became a health coach. I started a business about juice and tinctures, like I mentioned before, and ginger and ashwagandha and all these beautiful functional ingredients. But there was something in my soul that was like, and I was pulling cards for people on the side. I was hosting moon circles. I was doing Reiki. My life wizard called it my cosmic side hustle. But I was like, I don't know, right? Am I meant to take this full time? That feels a little crazy. At least like this one business, I have barcodes, I have a product, I have like something I can at least like point to. But then really understanding that like I'm here to stand out in my work, create a legacy, go viral, gain recognition by this, right? Like taking care of people, inspiring people, being creative, daydreaming. I really love hearing that. Being spiritual, practicing magic. And again, you can continue to add to this. Like for me, Pisces energy is channeling the divine, channeling the wordless, bringing it down here, reminding us of unity consciousness. So if you have a Taurus midheaven, you're here to stand out in your work by building something. Oh my gosh, all my Taurus midheaven people are so good when they remember they're here to build something, helping others feel calm and grounded, protecting people, creating art, right? So there's lots of threads. And now this is just a jumping off point for you. This is just a jumping off point. And I want Sherry, I love that. Sherry, I thought your last name said Batty, and I was like, that's so cool. It's still cool, but Sherry Batty. The way all the phrases in Virgo are things you do without even trying, right? Because there's a clicking, like, oh, okay, yeah, right. I'm already doing that. So thinking about this, and again, like not a limit, not a label, not a niche, but just this is beginning like the channel of how we're bringing down the gifts from spirit, from the universe, from our higher selves. This is how it wants to come down. If you're a Gemini midheaven, it's going to be through writing, through teaching, maybe through entertaining people, through solving problems, through connecting, networking, through spreading a message, right? Oh, Ro, I love that. MC and Sag, great, Nicole. And again, I love what you're saying. A few of you have said things like, I love this. I love these activities. Another thing I want you to take away from today is you are here to have a life that you fucking love. You are here to have a life you love. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to feel good every day. God knows there are days where I am very tired, cranky pants, but then I'm like, that's just part of being a human. Okay. Life is going to have hard moments, but we get to make the choice that's ours and be like, at least I want a life that has hard moments. That's my life that I crafted, that I co-created, that I like cultivated intentionally and in alignment with my authentic self. Because even on the hardest of days, I look around and I'm like, pinch me. I get to hang out with baddies and talk about astrology and the universe and intuition and changing the world. And it has helped me show up in all aspects of my life so differently, in my relationship to myself, in everything, in all aspects of me, by understanding this, by understanding my gifts and not fighting them, and instead like flowing with them, moving with them. Yeah, so Manu, that is the big thing we get into in Cosmic Boss is some people are like, I'm doing these things, but the burnout. And a big thing we say in Cosmic Boss is it's not what you're doing necessarily, but how. How do you feel while you do it, right? What's the energy you're bringing? And how do we create and lead from a place of heart-centeredness, from a place of overflow? And again, like this is, there's things in your birth chart. You want to understand your moon sign for sure, but you really want to build an energetic container to increase your capacity to do all of this. And that's everything from boundary work to community support, to understanding your systems you need, to health. And that's also why in Cosmic Boss, I'm teaching, but we have people come on, teach about integrative nutrition, Ayurveda, movement, systems to automate your life, financial tips, money mindset work, human design, because there's all of like these codes in life, but sometimes we get a little overwhelmed. We don't know where to start. So at the best, like I could say that for now. But and also remembering your sun sign self-care, always going back to like what your sun needs, because again, we can get really burnt out when we're not honoring what our sun needs. So this is now, we're going to put it all together, y'all. We're going to put it all together. We're going to say, I express myself best when I help people feel blank. My greatest potential lies in being a blank. I stand out at my job by blankety blank blank blanking. And this is what sets me apart from other people in my line of work. This is how I easily gain recognition, achieve success, go viral, create a positive impact, and leave behind a legacy I can be proud of. So let me see in the chat, put it all together, share your higher purpose RXs. Yes, so happy. Yes. Oh, Becca, thank you for saying that. We had someone, a Cosmic Boss grad, realize that exact thing. She's like, I was waiting for some triumphant big moment from the universe that was like, this is your purpose, like an angel with a trumpet. But it's actually very subtle usually. And it's just getting quiet and tuning within and maybe being like, oh, I'm already doing that. Or maybe I'm very close, or that's something I've always wanted to do. And then it's just about then having the courage and the clarity and the confidence to keep living that and bringing it out into the world. And what I also love about Cosmic Boss is that no matter where you're at on your journey, I guarantee you, you have many layers and levels of expansion to come. I've been doing this work, I'll consider it in my purpose, in my heart-centeredness for years, maybe 10 years, 7 years. But I am always confronted with that next like big leap I have to take of owning more fullness, more self-trust, owning more of my intuition, owning more of my really Cosmic Boss DNA. And I'm so grateful for these tools and this community, because it's what helps me keep expanding, but with grace, with joy, with flow, with ease. So if you're interested, Cosmic Boss Conscious Leadership Program. Anyone who comes to this workshop, we are doing a special promo. If you sign up by tonight, early bird is over, but we're extending it for one day. If you came to this workshop and you're like, oh my goodness, I need to be in this program. You will send an email out with this promo, everything you need, the replay. And we kick off on April 19th with a sacred initiation ceremony. So we're going to set your vision. We're going to do a meditation because partly what we do in this container too, it's very energetic. I really want to hold space for you. And I think sometimes we're looking to expand. We sign up for a coaching program and it's all very head-based. But the work we're doing is very heart and spirit based. So we do a lot of just energetic ceremonies and things that are really holding space for that part of you that's so much bigger than your body. So I just want to say thank you all for coming. I would love to see some of you in the Cosmic Boss program. We do have a cap. I think we're like, we have obviously spaces left. That's why we're doing this workshop, but there's not a ton of spaces. So if you're interested, or if you have a little question, you're on the fence, again, email us. And then no matter what, I would love to see you tag us in your Higher Purpose RXs on Instagram, because that's also part of a sacred practice, is showing up, being seen. And sign up for our free community if you just want to hang and chat, meet other people in a big group setting. It's like our secret clubhouse on the internet. And I really just want to speak the blessing over each of you, that no matter what you took away from today, no matter what you do after this workshop, that may all of this really be in service to your transformation and to the revolution we're a part of. And that it can all be just to help us in this ultimate liberation moment we're in. And may you continue to illuminate the world by being your highest and hottest self. So thank you all for joining. This was so special. This was so fun. I love hearing everyone in the chat, and that's where we're at for today. So, now I can see everyone's faces. I see some familiar faces. Hi, Lisa, Gabby. Hi, everyone. Savannah. So look out for an email for us. We'll send as a follow-up for this. Again, any questions, let us know. Don't hesitate to reach out. Oh, I see Elaine. I see some Cosmic Boss grads coming just to hang for the sake of it. I love it. And yeah, just holding you all in the highest light. Time schedule commitment. So we can send out an FAQ, but we do, as of right now, the live calls are every other Wednesday night at 6 p.m., an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes every other Wednesday. And then we mix up the times to try and open up for everyone's schedule. And then every other Monday afternoon is the coaching call at noon Eastern time. And then we throw in a bunch of happy hours, and we have the group coaching calls and the launch labs. So even if you can't make it to those, we offer many opportunities to gather live, and we have the community platform that you can ask questions on that I respond to. So basically, we're just here for you, here to hype you up, here to be in service, here to support you. So everyone, thank you. Brianna, Cosmic Boss versus Magic of You. Magic of You is just learning about your astrology in a very simple way. If you want to learn about your chart, or if you want to learn about your partner's chart or your coworker's chart, Magic of You is a great intro to astrology. Cosmic Boss, we take those astrology fundamentals, but go expand every part of your chart. We literally go house by house, understanding the archetypes in them and really how to apply it into your leadership. And of course, you're getting that launch roadmap. So we're giving you the steps to launch everything from your offering, crafting your brand, how to collaborate with others, how to build a landing page. And we make you do something. We make you bring something out in our program, because I'm a Virgo like that. Everyone has to make something. So it's a little different from Magic of You. All right. So that's where I'm going to sign off. That's where I'm going to leave you at. We're at our hour. This is so fun. I could hang out with you guys all day. But if you want to continue to hang, come to Cosmic Boss. Blessings. Wrapping you all in stardust and love. Blessings for big, fat, juicy checks and really hot, fulfilling sex. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.